Hello everyone, and welcome back to PropWay. So today's video is going to be a tutorial on how to make the Taskmaster helmet from the new Black Widow movie. I did get a few requests to make this helmet, and I thought the design actually looked really good, so I decided to make it for you guys. And I think it actually came out very nicely. I really liked the design of the helmet in the movie. There were a lot of small little details that made it look very, intimidating, but practical. So everything except the visor on this helmet is made out of EVA foam. And I'll show you the different types of foam that I use, as well as the material for the visor. And the helmet is wearable. It goes on very nicely and very comfortably. You guys probably can't hear me that well, but I can see perfectly through the visor right now. And this is what it looks like. And like I said, the helmet is very practical. The visor is extremely easy to see through, and it's nice and big, so you have a good field of view. And it is very comfortable to wear. And before we get on with the tutorial, I would love for you guys to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you get notified whenever I post my next video. So without further ado, let's get on with the tutorial. This is not even a Taskmaster move on it. So for the main part of the helmet, I use this exercise floor mat. As you can see, it has this nice texture that will look very accurate to the helmet in the movie. So here I am just using a roll of tape to draw a circle for the ear. And this is kind of the part where I freehand sketch different parts of the helmet, and this part specifically is the side of the helmet. So after I cut out the two sides, I use another roll of tape to trace out a circle on this scrap piece of foam. And here I cut this out and I add some contact cement to it. After you add the contact cement, wait a minute or two before you apply the pieces to each other. And here you just want to stick this earpiece into this side panel. And once you stick the contact cement, it should stay stuck permanently. And as you can see, there will be a nice angle to the piece, just like this. And now I'm cutting out more panels for the top of the helmet. As you can see, there was a piece that I cut out earlier that didn't work out, so that's what that piece is. So here I cut this out, and this will be connected to that side, just like this. And now I'm just taking an X-Acto knife and I'm cutting off some of the excess. And here I cut out some more panels for the top of the helmet that will be glued just like this. And here I'm using some contact cement again. And then you just want to join the two pieces together, and you should end up with two halves of the helmet. And when you glue the two halves of the helmet together like this, I realized that there is this middle section that should be flat and really shouldn't come to a point like it is here. So I cut that out and I replaced it with a flat panel, and I ended up with this. And all of these pieces will be in the template in the description. So now that the top of the helmet is put together, I am just sketching out the main face of the helmet. Once I got the main faceplate done, I just contact cemented it to the main part of the helmet. And now here I'm just adding some detail edging using hot glue. I ran out of contact cement, which is why I use hot glue. And that just shows you guys that hot glue is a good option if you don't have contact cement. And here I'm just sketching out some of the excess on the top of the helmet, and I'm cutting it out with an X-Acto knife. Be careful not to cut yourself here. It is a little tough to cut through that floor mat, so make sure you're using a very sharp blade to cut through it easier. And now here I am sketching out the main details on the face of the mask. This is that bottom jaw. And because I ran out of contact cement, I was experimenting with different ways to glue it on. Here I tried using Mod Podge, so I just brushed it onto the back and I stuck it on. Now here I'm sketching out more of the top part of the teeth. And although the Mod Podge did work a little bit, I just made sure to secure it with some super glue. And now here I am working on the main visor of the helmet. So I built this visor in pieces, but the template that I'll be posting should just be one piece and won't involve cutting out so many individual pieces. Now to make the actual see-through visor of the helmet, I used this plastic sheet, which was a binder divider, and I used this black car window tint. So what I did was I just took this car tint and I placed it onto that clear plastic sheet. And once you remove all of the air bubbles and wrinkles, you should have a nice smooth piece like this. Now I'm just putting some super glue onto the mask, and I am gluing that visor onto the mask like this. Now for the foam part of the visor, I added these side pieces for the ear, but again, this will all be one piece in the template. And here I'm just gluing that on over the visor. And now I am working on the nose of the mask. And here I'm just folding some creases into that nose, and I glue it onto the mask like this. So at this point you should have something that looks like this. And now there are these small side panels that would be glued to the face just like this. And I did buy more contact cement, so now I'm going back to using it. So at this point, you should have most of your helmet done, minus some of the details on the top and the back. So here I cut out this long strip of foam that's just going to run right along the middle of the helmet. So I took some contact cement and I glued it on just like this. Now there is some details on the back of the helmet, and this is what I'm sketching out right here. And this is being cut out of 2mm foam. So once you cut it out, you just place it onto the helmet. I marked where I should be adding the contact cement. And once the contact cement is applied, you can stick the detail onto the helmet. And you should have something like this. Here I'm just adding some more details to the forehead piece. And now to get the details in the teeth to show up nice, I use an X-Acto knife to score the lines. I'm not cutting all the way through, I'm just cutting a small line into the foam. And I open up those details with a heat gun. And if you don't have a heat gun, you can use a hairdryer for this step. Now to seal the foam, I just use Mod Podge and I brush it onto the entire helmet. And before I start painting, I mask off the visor with some masking tape. And now I just use this gray primer as a first coat. I realize that I am not wearing one of the straps on my mask, so please do not call me out. So after I added that first layer of gray primer, I'm just taking some silver acrylic paint and I am brushing it on to the details of the helmet. Here is the paint that I used. I have this metallic silver as well as the blue that I will be using for this next step. And here I'm just brushing on that blue paint to the top of the helmet. And now I'm just brushing on some black acrylic paint onto the jaw and the teeth of the helmet. Now to make the details in the teeth pop out, I just use this black permanent marker and I fill in the little details here. And here is the final product. Thank you guys for watching that tutorial. I hope you learned something. Whenever I make these helmets, my goal is to always make it as simple but as accurate as possible. And I think I did a pretty good job with this. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I have so many other builds coming up very soon and I can't wait to share it with you guys. And I hope you guys are excited because we are just getting started. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Bye.